Hi everyone, welcome back. Welcome back to Create Every Day in April. It's April 28th, 2021, and we are a few days away from the 30th. I'm super duper excited. I hope that you all are having a great day. I am doing a bit better than I have been in the last couple of days. I've been really stretching and just trying to pull whatever kink I have, just yank it apart by stretching so much and taking medication around the clock and rubbing ointment and heating pads. So my back is a lot better than it was previously. So I am ready to do a little bit of sitting and a little bit of mental work. But first I want to share with you that I still haven't finished the journal from 2 days ago. But I will finish that journal because I don't like to not have my things complete because then they just get lost in the sauce. But I want to show you our finished creations from yesterday. Now this one, somehow I magically got this to look really cool by matching it up pretty decently. Looks good. I don't know if that's the same sheet of paper that it came from, but it looks pretty dang good. And then this probably goes something like this. Yep. So anyway, this is how it's looking. I like it a lot. Now, the only thing is, remember yesterday when I showed you one of the sides that I went a little bit heavy-handed on? That one. This one? No. Yeah. So remember I showed you how the texture was on them. They do fit better with their boxes. Oh, I can't find it now. But I don't think this box goes with that box. But we'll see. Let's see. No, it doesn't. That one was right. Maybe it's this one. Right here is a little extra glue. So it's a little bit of a struggle to pull off. So, but that's okay. I don't plan on doing anything extra to that box. So I think it is this box with the corner right here. So I could just go in and sand this down if I really, really wanted to, but I don't think I need to sand it down. Let me know what you think about that in the comment section below. All right, so we got that. Now what we're gonna do, this is my prototype for a project that I'm working on, but I got this from BBZ Crafts. It's a lady on YouTube. I don't know much about her craft work, but it's just amazing, some of the things that I've seen her do. I was introduced to her by Berry Crafty, so I watched the video multiple times. These instructions, the printed instructions, are actually in the video description box, which is great. You know, we love descriptions, and I like it to be really, really written out for me. And I just watched the video again, and I just wrote notes where I needed to have the notes. So I've already cut down the paper. And I do want to say, if you don't own blank 12 by 12 paper, you need to. This project proves that you can't just get away with craft paper like I always try to do. So anyway, let's get into it. I'm not going to give much instruction besides what I am doing. She does, she has her video. You can watch the video. It will be in the description box. But we're going to go ahead and pull out some scoring tools because we're going to need those. And I'm going to use this bone folder right here. It's not that mean. This one's a little bit rough, but we're going to do burnishing with this, scoring with this. And I want to ask you, do you have a paper trimmer with all the little numbers on it? If so, let me know where you got it from and if you like it. So the first thing we're going to do is make the inserts of the drawers, and we need 3 8x7 pages, and we're going to score them. So just make sure I scored that right. 8, 7, yay. All right, so we're going to score on the 7-inch side at 1.5 and 5.5. So 1.5, 5.5. Now, if this is messed up, blame the person that's not reading properly. And then at the 8-inch side, we're going to score at 1.5 and 6.5. And we're going to repeat that 2 more times. So we have our lines. Okay, and so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to skip to the next section, and we will crease and burnish and cut all together. But the next section is the drawer coverings, and you need 3 of those, and you need 3 at 11 3/4 by 6 5/8. And this is where you need different color paper. I mean, or not different color paper, but paper larger than 8.5 by 11. So we need 3 of those, and we need 11 3/4 and 6 5/8. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to score these at 11 3/4. No, on 11 3/4 side, we're going to score it 1/2 inch. I'm going to make another one of these just so y'all know. Maybe try 2. Whenever I have projects that could be a little bit intimidating for me, I tend to try them a few times just to see if I really like them or not. So far, this seems pretty straightforward. It just has a lot of numbers and measurements in it. Then we're going to score 4 5/8. And I think a lot of measurements for me can be intimidating. Then we're going to score 6 1/8. Then we're going to score 10 1/4. We're going to turn the paper, and we're going to score at 1 1/2. All right, I'm going to do that 2 more times. Okay, on the next portion, so we got the drawer pieces, and now we need to get the roof. And the roof measures 11 1/8 by 4 1/8. And then we're supposed to score on the 3 and the 8 1/8 of the 11 1/8 side. So that, again, I just want to go on the record and say sometimes all these numbers just don't make me want to actually go out and make these projects. So we're going to score on a 3 and 8 1/8. It looks good at the end once you finish them, but during the process, I feel like it can be a little bit daunting, especially with lots of numbers and lots of paper. Because even though, and then the last portion that we're going to be really focusing on is the roof covering, and it should measure 9 1/2 by 5 1/8. So we got 9 1/2 and 5 1/8. So I feel like sometimes with these projects, you know, you have so much stuff going on with them that you can just really be like, I don't want to do this. You know, that's me, at least. That's me. But you know, some people like the challenge. I am not one of those people. So on the 9 1/2 Sapphire roof covering, we're going to score at 5 inches and 8 1/2. And we're going to do that twice because we need 2 coverings. Now, I will tell you that when the BBZ Crafts, when she puts it all together, it looks really pretty. Even going through everything, I could follow pretty decently. At one point, I'm like, what? But that's when, you know, you watch the video 1,000 more times. Or in my case, if I'm like, especially crocheting, I'll just reread the pattern multiple times. Now, our drawer is going to be 2-tone because I think I only have 5 sheets of this purple paper. And I didn't really want it to be like multicolored because we're going to cover most of this up anyway. Well, not most, but a few of the elements we're going to cover up. So I didn't feel the need to be like, oh, I need to really get this covered. So the reason why I want to get everything cut and scored first is because now, you know, the fun part really begins. So we're going to just burnish our score lines really well. And I'm using this one. On the other paper, it is a little bit thinner, so I don't know if I really will go crazy with the burnishing on there, just because, you know, you really don't want to damage your paper, your project. Because at this point, once we get 2 or 3 of these things glued and set up, it's no longer just paper, right? So we got everything folded on one. We're going to go ahead and do that. These other two. And we're going to go ahead and burnish all of our papers. See, this is what I was talking about, these lines. Sometimes these lines just don't want to act right, even if you fold them over. You know, you're gentle with them. And sometimes you have to show them that who's the creaser. You're the creaser, right? So we got our little folds. We're going to go ahead and do all of this. Now, at one point, she throws a wrench into the project. We have to do some additional scoring and measuring, but I think we got it. I think we'll be fine. All right. Now, a smart person, obviously, I'm not that person today, would label their things. You know, label each section, but you see what we're doing. We're just taking a walk on the wild side. I think we'll be fine because we've already scored everything to match, you know, to the perfect measurements, or what, I wouldn't say perfect, approximate measurements. So we really just need to go back and put the pieces the way that we cut them out, and we should be fine. But if you do this project, maybe you've done this project already, let me know what you think about the project. Let me know how you feel about the project. Do you actually enjoy these types of projects, like 3D projects? I did say that I was going to try more and more 3D projects so I wouldn't be such a big chicken, and here we are. I think for CREDA we've only made like 2 flat things, maybe. Not even sure about that statement at the moment, but here we are. Alrighty, so I'm gonna go ahead and finish burnishing these. Alright, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut our tabs. We're gonna just refold these once more, and what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna cut up around the whole entire square, rectangle, whatever we're calling this thing, this sheet of paper. I'm sure most people probably cut it opposite, but this is easiest for me to do. All right. So now what we're gonna do, she uses hot glue. You know, I prefer wet glue. So just gonna fold these in like that and glue them all down. But I'm gonna go ahead and cut the other ones down and see somehow measurements are off already. So maybe the paper, one side of the paper is off or whatever, but I did measure it according to the paper trimmer. So let me go ahead and cut these down and come back. So if you decide to use hot glue or wet glue, whichever glue you decide to use, make sure you let it set a while. I tend to not use a lot of, oh goodness, already jacked it up. I tend to not use a lot of hot glue in projects just because I could always just mess them up. So right here, I put the glue on the wrong side. I'm just gonna wipe it off. Great, good job. Well, you know it's gonna be a successful project when you screw something up ahead of time. I want the tabs to be on the inside, not the outside. So you could also use tape. I don't feel like tape holds as long as it could. You know, I feel like over time the stickiness wears off on the tape. So we're just going to hold this down a little bit. And if you want to use your art glitter glue, by all means, go for it. It will dry. I think it dries a little bit faster than the Aleene's for some of the projects that I've been working on. But I like Aleene's because it gives me some wiggle room. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle room. And I'm just going to take wherever it's not even at, when I put the flaps on, I'm just going to take my scissors and trim them down. I would say be a little bit more liberal than chinchy. I don't even know what chinchy means. It just means cheap. To me, like you don't want to waste all your glue or whatever on something, so you just put a little bit. And in this case, give it all you got, Captain. Right? You want to put a lot on there. And I did miter the corners just because, why not? Why not get a little bit schmanchy with it? A little bit schmanchy. So, got that. And we're just going to take our bone folder. You see right there, it does not want to act right. That's okay. My little crafty space is on the warm side, so it may take a little bit longer to stick. But you see how I just adjusted that? You can't really do that with the art glitter glue. And I'm only speaking about the glues that I've used from the past, in my crafty repertoire. I did buy some old school Elmer's glue, and as soon as I put on the project, it bowed. I was like, Elmer, you let me down, buddy. This right here, Craft Bond. So I would say if you use it, don't go crazy with the glue. I would probably say even put that in like a fine tip applicator bottle and let it go. So you see right here, we have this one little lip that wants to pop up. So I'm just going to trim it down just like that. And there we go. I'm also going to trim this side, not because it needs it, just because I want to. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and glue the rest of these trays in, glue them together, and we'll come back and work on the next portion. All right, now we're going to be moving to our drawer covers, and we have 3 of those, hopefully approximately the same size. And we're going to go ahead and cut one. We're going to cut one and glue it together, and then I'll just go ahead and do the rest. Now this paper, it does have texture to it, so I want to make sure that I have all my textures, and I don't. Or do I? Yeah, I have all my textures on the outside, so that would be good. And we're just going to, in the video, she cuts this flap off. So we're going to just cut this flap off because apparently we don't need it. This is going to take us into tomorrow, just so you all know. Just so you all know. So I'm just cutting up on all the way up to the score line. And I am going to cut a little piece of that off. That probably was too much. You don't need to cut all of that off, but you know what? We're going to glue it on the inside, and you won't see it anyway. Hopefully you won't see it. My luck, I'll do it backwards, and that's okay. You know, we could always fix it. I don't want to waste this paper. Honestly, I don't, because I don't have a whole bunch of solid sheets. So next time Michael's has a sale, I definitely will be, next time they have that $5 paper, their hot buy paper on sale, I'll definitely buy some. So this is how it's going to look all finished up, like a little shopping bag. And let's see if I got this right. That's how it's going to look. So this is what we're going to do. And let's go ahead and glue all these pieces down. Now, the one thing I will tell you that I do not care about 3D projects is what we're about, the feat that we have to go through to get these tabs and things to lay down once they're inside, you know, all that burnishing, sticking stuff in to make sure it adheres. I don't really care for that part. Just because I always feel like it's not glued down enough, it's not adhered enough, and it probably is, but it's just my own like weirdness that's like, no, it's not good enough. It's not, I don't have it glued properly. I'm not sure if you remember when I did the Magazine Monday, and they had that little drawer like with the calendar on there, and I kind of altered that whole project, and that, you know, that was one of the things that I always worry about is, did I get enough glue on it? Did I get enough tape? Is it properly? Because, you know, even though you have tape, you have to make sure that you make the tape touch the other portion or whatever you're trying to adhere. So that's why I'm just trying to give this a little bit more love and attention. And I'll give all of them the same amount of love and attention, just so that we can, you know, we'll know that it's actually glued down pretty dang good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. just like that. And do this. And this is the part that I was talking about. I'm going to take a ruler, just rub that in. And hopefully we get it good enough that it's like that. And then now we're going to take this piece and do that. And there we go. Yay, we got it. Just gonna lay it, see, it came apart. That's because I didn't have it all the way down yet. I was gonna say I'm gonna lay it on the side, on this side where the thing is, and just take my ruler and gently rub it on there, but it's not sticking. It wants to give me a problem, but that is that we're moving towards something. I actually think I'm going to stop the video here. I'm going to leave BBZ's Crafts. I'm quite sure that's not how she pronounces her YouTube channel, but I'm going to leave her channel, and you can watch the completed project. It takes less time than what we've been doing, but you know, I'm kind of slow when it comes to putting things together. I guess you could say more meticulous about them, just because this is my first time doing it and I want to make sure I do it right. So we're going to let this dry. I will not put anything together. I'm going to wait for you all for tomorrow. And I like the two-tone of the drawers, just so you know. But it's supposed to stack up, and then we'll work on something else tomorrow. So I do want to say thank you all for watching. I am going to go and stretch, take some medication, and get ready for my pre-K lesson, whatever that shall be today. Until next time, happy crafting.